If you've been following mine and Shallalla's Artist Way series, you'll know we're at week 8 right now. And for week 8 we're doing something really different. Now Shallalla's got a story to tell about her experiences and what week 8 makes her feel. And she said it's personal and she doesn't want to talk about it over the phone. So she sent me a video of herself talking about it. And so I'm going to play this video and let her introduce it and tell her story. But I'm going to chip in and share my reaction to it with you. Let's go.
Hi, I am Shallalla. I am an artist and a creativity coach, and right now I am working through Julia Cameron's The Artist Way for the 10th time. And by the way, I'm not doing it alone. I have the most wonderful The Artist Way buddy one could wish for, Joe Holmes. When I announced that I was...
One thing I want to add about Shallalla, she's one of the kindest people I've ever met. She's a really supportive person, and we were voice messaging the other day and I was telling her about a project I was working on, and she was sitting up a tree in Germany and I was walking along in England, and we were just talking about the projects, and she started to share bits of this story, and then she said, let's save what happened. So I'm interested to see what happens.
I was going for the 10th time. Somebody commented, I love the book, but do we really have to do it 10 times? And of course you don't, but here's why I'm doing it. Julia Cameron says the artist's way, the artist's journey is a spiral path. You repeat things, but you are on a different level. While reading week 8's essays and doing the tasks, this became very clear to me. When I read this chapter in June 2010, I had just suffered a couple of artistic losses. At that time, I mainly identified as a theater maker, and I had 3 or even 4 shows within 1 year that just didn't happen. So I sat there heartbroken.
She's talking about having shows and then them not happening. And as creative people, it's very rare that we get that break. And when we do, and things get cancelled or it doesn't happen, I remember when I had a great placement scheme going and I was going to work in a really good place, but that got cancelled due to the coronavirus crisis. And it's so easy to let those things entirely put you off. But we've got to keep fighting.
And read these essays with titles like Survival and Gain Disguised as Loss. And I decided to take Julia Cameron's advice to heart to not let the bastards get me down. And I thought, okay, theater doesn't want me, so I'm gonna explore a different medium.
Theatre doesn't want me. Well, does theatre have that kind of emotion, or do you not want the stress that theatre brings? And Shallalla's a great creativity coach. She's good at coaching other people, and I feel like we're good at she told me this once. What makes you good at coaching other people is going through that yourself and then taking the time to reflect on how you've acted in that situation and how you could have acted better. And the whole mentality of theatre doesn't want you. Theatre doesn't have any want or need. It's your want for theatre and the troubles it's brought you.
And I had an idea for a web series that I started to write. That was 2010. I produced and shot that web series in 2013 with a pretty huge budget, and I considered myself like a pretty huge success, willing this brainchild into the world, and so did the world at that time. I even won an award. The budget, we're talking about something in the low 6 figures.
That's a huge budget and a huge responsibility. Having awards, having people watching you, everyone excited for a project. Now, that weight of responsibility as a creative can really be detrimental to our creativity and sort of our organisation. You know, as creatives, we don't want to have to think about the budget. We don't want to have to think about that. We need to tell the story in the best way possible. And having those awards and having those rates of success can be really nice. But when someone tells you, oh, you're the best, this is going to be amazing, I'm going to give you an award for this, and then you're working on it and it becomes really tough, and there's an expectation and you're trying to get up to that expectation, but you meet lots of challenges along the way. And that can really put you in a state of really negative and depressive thinking, because you're trying to reach this place that isn't a safe or achievable goal necessarily.
So I took a big personal risk, and I was 110% sure that that was the right thing to do. It was the best time of my life. Roughly 1 year later, in December 2013, I was at the lowest point of my life. The web series had flopped, my production company was bankrupt, and so was I personally. I had no personal life.
I feel like bankruptcy in that situation, although it's financial, it's almost physical and mental as well. Because when you go, it really takes its toll on your creative spirit and your happiness and your confidence. You know, it goes from your high point to your low point, and when you do that, it's hard to remember how to get back up to that high point. And it's really easy to, instead of looking how you gradually climb back up that mountain, it's easy to look back and think, "God, I was at that high point and now I'm down here." And it's really, you want to look back, you want to get back up, but you can't get back up that way. You've got to work up this way slower, and it's going to take time.
Whatsoever left anymore, and my physical and mental health were destroyed. I didn't look at The Artist's Way for a couple of years because it was just too painful, and now, rereading the essays on survival and gain disguised as loss, I'm dealing with my failed web series.
So now she's reading those chapters of The Artist's Way again, survival and dealing with loss. That's why week 8 is tough for her, because it's opening up those times, and it shows that sometimes when you dig up things and you work through challenges, and it's particularly tricky, they're the challenges we need to work through the most. Shallalla just sent me some voice messages saying, "I think this might be too personal. I don't know if I want to share it. What do you think? You don't have to do this. We can do something else for week 8. And I thought, the reason you're saying this is because it's something you need to say, and you're hesitant to say it because it hurts. But you have to embrace that pain sometimes in order to share it, because by sharing it, it will help other people. Because if you're someone that's seen as successful now, and you were seen as successful a while ago, but there was a bumpy ride in the middle, that's an inspiration to people, because they know that you can be at one high point and get to another high point, and it doesn't matter what happens in the middle. And that's one reason I share, because I know that now I'm in a high point, I'm doing really well, and I know a couple of years ago I felt at a really high point, and then in the middle I went for a really low point. Really similar to what Shallalla's describing, but for different reasons, on different levels. And I feel like having that healing process and sharing it is really powerful. So I'd like to say well done for Shallalla for sharing it, because it's moving me just watching it.
The main task in this chapter is goal search. And when I think about the projects that I now have in my life and started to set goals and planning, things came back to me pretty painfully. So do you see what I mean regarding The Artist's Way as a spiral path? I came circling back to my issues, my fears, my anxieties, my insecurities, and also to my immense determination and willpower, and my improved skill set, which includes better self-care, and to that one thing that morning pages keep telling me: drama is not permanent. Pain is not permanent. Depression wants you to believe that these things will never go away, but it's a lie.
She's so right, and at the depressive point, she was telling herself that these things won't go away, but it has gone away now, and she's living her free artistic life, and it may not be even the high point she once thought she could attain, but it is free and it is happy. And you've got the power to be creative again, even if it's a struggle.
But it's a liar. I am not saying that I'm okay with what happened back then. I still wish the web series had been more successful. What I am saying is I am willing to try again, because in December 2013, I actually ended up in hospital because I broke down completely. The first decision that I made, when I was able to make a decision again, was to take a piece of paper and write morning pages. That's who I am.
And I feel like that's such a powerful tool, and in a way, that writing those pages was the medication. And as a creative, it's the most powerful form of medication and healing that you can possibly have, because that healing isn't something someone's prescribed, it's what you prescribe yourself. Writing those pages, you write your own prescription of what you need, and that just comes straight from your spirit, from your soul, and you write down exactly what you need. You write your own prescription, and then you learn to make your own medicine. I think that's really powerful. That's the end of the video. And I just want to play that last bit again.
That's who I am.
That's who I am. And it's so easy to let those things define us. But we've got to break through and not let them define us. But we've got to carry them with us, and we can't forget them. But we don't have to regret them. We can take the journey and the learnings that have come from that and put it into something positive, like helping other people go through that. And that's what Shallalla does, and that's what she stands for, and I couldn't commend that more. Now, week 8 has been completely different to me because I hadn't been looking through that. But in terms of goals, I feel like for week 8, I'm trying to prevent what happened there, and I'm trying to stop me from not having that again, because I know I'm in a very fast-paced environment, and my biggest fear is that it won't work out, or I will crash and burn at 1,000 miles per hour, and I won't be able to escape that wreckage. And I feel like that's what happened to Shallalla, and I'm scared that's going to happen to me. And that's why I'm surrounding myself with a really good support network that I know I can turn to, and enough other things in my life that I can run to and know that even if I can't do what I wanted to do, that I can make people happy on a different level. And although that's not great for the artistic spirit, we sometimes need that exit strategy, or just a way to rediscover our passion and our love. And so when she said that she was in hospital, she crashed out. And she said she had no personal life. And I'm scared I'm going to be left with no personal life, because I'm working so hard. I'm trying to make, my dreams come true. We have this fire, we have this passion, and we're running so fast. It's important to slow down, and I remember she told me to slow down. Take a look around you, let people in, because if you don't let people in, you're all alone when it gets too fast and too hard. That's what I've got to say for week 8. Please don't forget to catch up on the other videos we've done in this Artist Way series. Today was a bit different, but I really hope you got something out of it, because I shared something I wouldn't have shared, and Shallalla shared something she definitely wouldn't have shared. So I've really enjoyed this video because it's touched on lots more deep and personal subjects. I really hope you're well, and don't forget you can reach out to me and Shallalla on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Shallalla is I am Shallalla on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Joe Holmes 2002 on Instagram, and Joe Holmes Writer on Twitter. Please come on this journey with us, because even if you're not struggling, even if you don't need to heal, we will be that safety net to catch you when you fall. Over and out.